Anybody hear about Fast Track Trader denying payouts and everything else? There are rules popping all over the place. It's a futures prop firm. The only reason I know is because I was going to perfect Top Step, Apex, and then get them and just spend maybe 6 months to a year playing around, make some monies, pay taxes, and put it onto an account. But I don't know that they're stable enough for that. Anybody ever tried them or hear about them denying, I think it's like $10 million in payouts or something like that?
Yeah, people that I follow, well, they've been denied by past prop.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's my problem with prop firms. As you guys know, I've never been a big fan of the Forex ones. I feel like it takes too long to pass. So if you're doing it right, it takes too long. The cost is too high. Considering what you can do with your own $1,000 if you just put it in your own account, if you're going to be completely reckless, you can grow that to 5 figures, 6 figures in a month way easier than you can jumping through their hoops for 1,000 whatever.
They make up these stupid rules.
And then they change the rules, yeah.
Like funding traders, I found out the hard way, and they don't put it out there where you can see it. I mean, it's there, but it's in fine print to where, I figured this out. They think if you have like 5 positions open, they're in the same direction. They consider that one trading idea. If all 5 of those combined go more than 2% drawdown, they freaking close you've lost.
Yeah,
that's one of the dumbest ones I've ever heard of.
That was the problem with the Fast Track Traders topic is, I guess they change the rules and they make them retroactive to previous challenges, which I feel like that's completely unethical.
That should be, they're probably not from here, so it would be illegal if they were US based, but.
I mean, I understand like you're allowed to adapt, in the market conditions and business and what have you, but I feel like you need to honor the previous arrangements. But then from a business perspective, how do you do that? Because if you change the back end and the office and everything, I can only imagine it gets completely complex to, make it to where they run on different. Well, if you bought the challenge before this date, this is the criteria that will flag the account if you bought it before this date. So I get it, but I just think it's poor form, poor business.
It's probably their fine print when you sign up that they're allowed to do that just to make it legit, but nobody reads it.
Well, back to the point, who said, the person who can make $40,000 in a day and then can't do it again. Like a lot of these firms are having these consistency rules, even on your funded, I'll use that word. I don't know if it's Express, PA, depends on which firm you're with. But if you have any kind of a consistency rule, there's no sense in trying to make $40,000 in a day. You're better off getting your $500 or $1,000 every day. Even if it's only 200, for example, in Top Step's case, 200-300 a day split between 5 accounts. Some days you lose, they just can't be $1,500 losses, Fine. Some days you don't hit your $200-300 profit and you withdraw twice a month. Keep it very, very simple, but there's no sense in getting $1 million a day with those kinds of rules because changes are so sporadic. You have no control over them. You're in somebody else's playground. So just something to think about. Stay consistent is your best bet. There's no sense in getting $50,000 a day because they can maybe change the rule in 2 weeks and say, well, you don't qualify for that because you hit $1 bajillion a day. And that would really piss off a saint. Excuse my French, but come on.
What you preach is really the way to look at it. Like, eventually just doing your own account. You mentioned it earlier in class. You mentioned it every week anyways, but like you could use these firms to use it. It gives the opportunity where you can get capital so you get funded and, you get a few payouts. And then once you get those payouts, and you can allocate the money, so, whichever way you see fit. Obviously, put some in your pocket, whether it's your savings or, pay off something or invest into something else outside of, Forex and futures. But then if you make a substantial amount where you can build your own account, then you can sort of do things by your own rules and have access to them. And then if you lose the funding account, you still have your regular account available. It's the same game, so you don't have to worry about resetting at some point in time. If you've built the skill and all of that, and you've been consistent on your features, then you should be able to be consistent on your personal account with some of that capital that you've attained.
Yeah. Guys, I think the path to wealth is not as hard as most of us are making it. And I know the world is getting more noisy, right? My prayer request this weekend was just clarity and quiet. It's sorry to get all biblical on you, but you know how Noah he got so much detail. I want that kind of detail. I do. I pray for that kind of 4 cubic whatevers. I want detail. I want that kind of clarity and discernment. But think about it. We live in a world that is bombarded with information and possibility, and yes, motivation too. We have to take that with a grain of salt. Some of these people, including myself, have other streams of income, right? I have rental properties, I have business, I have other things, okay? That's the reality. Some of these people are making $1 million a month on affiliates and things that have nothing to do with, quote, trading. So it's very easy to kind of flash your just ginormous lifestyle that we think is necessary or the goal, but it's really not. The goal is just to have freedom. And the path to that is, number one, you don't pay any interest to anybody but yourself unless it is an investment. That was kind of my rule for myself, is I don't pay interest on anything. Very rarely, and even now, I probably would get much farther if I was willing to do like business credit or more that line of things, but I don't do other people's money for the most part. I never have. So number one, stop paying 24% interest on your credit cards, on your McDonald's or your new shoes you probably didn't need. Like that's it. I promise you that is net, what is it, two times, so 200% what the market would return if you put that into an investment account. So don't keep paying interest to somebody else. Number two, you're investing, like you're maxing out your accounts that you can max out, whatever you qualify for. You need to find all the back doors and the back path to do so. If you don't have the capital in your budget to do so, you need a side hustle. You need a way to make some extra money. That's very, very simple. Beyond that, none of this is really hard. Seriously, especially with what we have access to, like you can walk away, which depending on your lifestyle, you really only need like $1.8 to $3.5 million liquid to be able to have what I would consider like really good income, like just passive, don't have to work for anything. And that's including any other sources of income, like your rentals or your whatever. That's how much you need. And that's like your walk away number is, for example, not that hard. To do that, you need a couple of these prop firms. You need a couple streams of income. You need to take that money and be smart with it and not necessarily go spend it all. Yes, take your vacation or buy the supercar if that's your goal, but be smart about it. Be wise. First, make sure your other parts of life are buttoned up and then keep doing it. And don't get sidetracked with shiny object syndrome. It's a good way to deter from your goal. I decided to be done for the day at $277, or $227. It's only $7 more than what I need when I had a market open. That's okay. Now, the hardest part is, can you message in the group tomorrow morning?